Hey Ashley, allthingsenergy.com, and this is a retake on my posterior palatal seal video. I just wanted to add a few points. So start to finish, essentially the posterior palatal seal is used on a denture to compensate for shrinkage of the denture base. Say for example, this is my wax rim, but even in the fabrication of my wax rim we had shrinkage of the denture base. So when we get this process, the acrylic shrinks to the bulk, and this posterior palatal seal is designed to compensate that. So we get our nice refrigerator door seal. You just think about the refrigerator door, where you have one seal all the way around the door, and if it's properly sealed, it's really tough to open that door. But if there's a break in the seal anywhere, even a little one, it prevents having a perfect seal. So that's just some food for thought. So the posterior palatal seal, this is a variation. There's probably 1,000 of them. What I was taught was a straight line, and the reason why we sort of use this butterfly dual one is that if in any point in that single line that I used to do there was a break or a gap, then posterior palatal seal is useless. So in this case, if we need to adjust, say, the length of the denture border in the posterior section, we still have more posterior palatal seal that can compensate for making the denture base shorter after processing. So what did I do? Well, just following the checklist here, I drew a line 1 millimeter anterior to the posterior extension of the denture, and then I drew a second line, you can see right here, sort of in a butterfly fashion, and it comes over. So if this is a border molding, you want it to be almost just to be continuous with the border molding, so just over between the hamular notch and the tuberosity, that sort of soft tissue area that's movable. So we carve it approximately 1 millimeter. In this case, you can go 1 millimeter at the most posterior extension, and then gently, not as deep. The depth will decrease as you go anteriorly. Or you can make, I guess you can make it 1 millimeter all the way across. That's not I don't think that's a showstopper. So again, 1 millimeter of depth, and it feathers out onto the region between the tuberosity and the hamular notch, and comes over. So you still want a fine line just between where the hamular notch region would be and the tuberosity, which would be continuous with our border molding. So it's going to be a fine line, not a millimeter thick, just feathering it out. So I'd say, what, a 1/4 millimeter, slowly into a millimeter. And you can see on this side, I essentially nailed it. On this side, I came too far anteriorly. So we want that right about here. So if you can see again, this is fairly exactly where we kind of want it here. I'm a little more onto the tuberosity. So I'll just bring it back here. And the other thing was, it shouldn't, like I just said, it shouldn't go onto the tuberosity. So again, this posterior palatal seal compensates for shrinkage of the denture upon processing, and we have it in this configuration. Again, just so if we need to shorten the denture base for whatever reason, so the patient is gagging or it's irritating the patient, we don't lose our posterior palatal seal. Cheers.